So the second episode of this series. In this case, talking about movement. I'm just redoing this so that I can get back to the basic movement tutorial. So, first part, jumping. You can jump and then double jump. Crouching while moving gives you sliding. Wonder if you can just do this as well. So, bullet jumping, crouching and then jumping, preferably holding forward, but not necessary. You can do it in any direction you'd like.
You made it.
So, that was the basic tutorial on how to move. Personally, I think it is really bad. And this is my addendum to it. I'm going to be using the simulacrum, but that's going to take a minute to get to. Wonder if this is going to break anything.
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
I love that you get to go through 2 loading screens to get to the simulacrum instead of just 1. The arena, yeah. It's the largest. So, again, for basic movement, you have your walk. You have your walk, done by just holding forward. You have your sprint, a little bit faster. You have crouch, jump, you can double jump. And like was shown, if you crouch and jump, you do a bullet jump. You can even double jump out of a bullet jump. Which, that is the basic jump cycle for speed. But something we can add immediately is the dodge. Something they don't teach you for some reason. It's the same as your crouch button, you just do it while moving. So, bullet jump, jump, dodge, or just... You can't dodge out of a bullet jump. But if you bullet jump, jump, and then dodge, that is... at least my basic movement combo. Then if you want to get fancy, you can add aim glider. Which is exactly what it sounds like. While in the air, hold aim. And you glide. So, something they used to teach you is how to scale walls. I'll do it on one of these bigger pillars. So, you can scale any wall in the game. Period. You just can. It is a part of the game. You walk up to the wall and you hold the jump button while holding towards the wall. And I'm up here now. And yes, this works on every single wall in the game. Except for these, apparently, in which case you just do a slightly modified version. And it works just as well. So, the other thing that just reminded me of, hard landings. There is a thing in this game called hard landings. It temporarily immobilizes you in an animation. Bullet jumping up can initiate it. But if you want to avoid it, just slide. Just slide or dodge roll. Both will avoid the hard landing. And yes, hard landings can get you killed. It has happened to me. Well, it can get you downed. It has certainly happened to me. I'm pretty sure it's happened to a lot of people. It's basically this game's fall damage. And you can easily cancel it. So, the last thing, you saw me doing it earlier, is a wall latch. You literally just hang onto the wall. And the strands show you how long, the blue strands, show you how much longer you can do this. The audio does as well. So wall latching can let you climb a wall far easier. So, now for a slightly different thing to wall jumping. What is essentially wall running. It's basically the same thing as wall jumping, you're just jumping off the wall many times while going along it. This isn't the best simulacrum to show it off. But it is very powerful. It's like, the basic movement is why I love this game so much. It is so fluid. It is amazing. Can I avoid going to the courtyard? Pretty sure you have a couple nice ones to run along. Well, mainly just one big one at the back. Oh, yeah, also vaulting. Something so smooth I forgot it was in the game. DE really cooked on that one. And it's really good. If you misjudge the height of something by a little bit, you'll still go up on top of it. It's really nice. Oh, right, yeah. Forgot we never saw them. Neither of them, actually. So, wall running. It's literally this basic. You just run on the wall. you do need to hold towards the wall. Otherwise, they'll jump away from the wall. Which also factors into what I'm going to show next. Which is something that I really like doing, which is a single wall run to let me continue to go forward. Oh, right, you can't do it while... But yeah, you can jump off a wall to go even higher. And to go higher quicker. So, much like before, you can literally just hold toward the wall, holding the jump button to go up, or you can bullet jump up, do a wall jump, and then bullet jump again. It's quite a bit quicker, but does take a little more precision. So, dodging in different ways, specifically the back dodge, the backflip. It halts your forward momentum. You stop, pretty much. It's really nice. So as long as your dodge is still available, you can pretty much stop where you're going. You only have left, right, forward, and back dodges. You can only dodge in the 4 cardinal directions of where your Warframe is facing. But your Warframe can be facing in 360 degrees. So it really only matters if you're jumping, because you can't face a different direction while you're in the air. I think that's everything for basic movement. Well, there is one more thing about basic movement, which is your base sprint speed. Every Warframe has a different base sprint speed. I'll go back to here because it's the physically largest, and you'll be able to see it easier. But the frame with the highest base sprint speed is Gauss Prime. As you can see down here, the sprint speed is 1.5. base Gauss has a sprint speed of 1.4. And the frame with the lowest base sprint speed would be Corvex with 0.9. He has 4 people coming in close second with 0.95, which would be Rhino, Grendel, Folly, and I'm forgetting the 4th one. But to show you the difference, I'll show you Corvette sprinting versus... Oh my god. You can feel he's heavy. So, starting at the simulacrum podium to that, he is very heavy. But now, starting at this, doing the jump combo. So much quicker. And now is my basic jump combo, bullet jump into double jump into immediate dodge. His dodge is a little different. And we will come back and see him later. Because he has a separate movement gimmick. So, Gauss Prime with a sprint speed of 1.5. You should be able to immediately tell that he is quicker. And again, 204. As you should be able to tell, so much quicker. Something I'm kind of interested to learn is he quicker doing the jump combo? I genuinely don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. That's really trippy. But there are the two. So now to go down every single other well, okay. Let's talk about passives. Let's talk about passives that do this. That mess with your basic movement. Number 1 is Chroma. Chroma gives you an additional jump. You get 3 jumps. And you can bullet jump into a bullet jump into a jump. I believe you cannot bullet jump into a bullet jump into a jump into a jump. Bullet jump, jump, and you're done. You get 3 movement actions, 2 of which can be a bullet jump. You don't get both additional, you get one or the other. Wing Sprout for an additional jump or bullet jump. You don't get both, unfortunately. So, Neja. I can't spell. Neja's passive is that you slide 60% faster and go 35% farther. Your slides go crazy. She also has an ability that messes with her movement. Her 1, Firewalker. At base, it gives you a 25% speed increase. We'll just take all this off. So you get a 25% speed increase. I believe that is unaffected by basically anything. Yes, it is unaffected by anything that I can think of. But this is also a good way to show there are mods that let you alter your sprint speed. Neja's already pretty fast at 1.15. Actually, no, that's pretty average. But if we put Sprint Boost, you get 1.32. Armored Agility gives you another 15% on top of Sprint Boost's 15. Now we're up to 1.49, so only a tiny bit lower than base Gaussian Prime. There's Speed Drift, which gives another 12%. Rush, which is 30, and Amara's English, which is another 15. After all of that, we are up to 2.15. I don't actually know the math behind what that number means. It might be meters a second. I don't know. But as you can see, we are rather speedy. So, there's two stats. Sprint speed and parkour velocity. Parkour velocity dictates how fast and dictates how far your movement goes. Sprint speed is literally just how fast you run. Which is why Gauss Prime and Corvex both ended at the same rate when doing the jump combo. They both had a parkour velocity of, I'll put an arbitrary number, 1. But back to this, because I'll talk about parkour velocity quite a bit later when we get to Uriel. Well, actually, when we get to Varuna. So we're quite speedy. Firewalker on, and we're even more speedy. So I play Nezha with a flamethrower. So I'm constantly sliding around because my aim doesn't really matter. But Nezha is very fun. And someone who has kind of the same passive as her. Do I not know how to spell Mirage? MIR. Okay. So Mirage's passive is kind of the same thing. Slides last 85% longer, and acrobatic movements are 50% faster. She's an acrobat. Her slides aren't faster, they just last longer. And as you can see, I believe her bullet jump is unaffected, but her dodge is very much affected. The second to last passive that I'm going to talk about, because I'm going to do quite a bit with Varuna, and we're going to come back to Zephyr. But Zephyr's passive is that you fall slower. Zephyr wants to be in the air. And if you have muscle memory built up, it's really weird. So, there's actually something you can do. Zephyr and Nezha both have augments. Nearly every Warframe has augments. These two and one secret Warframe that you know if you know. Get rid of their passive and give you 15% ability strength to compensate. So Zephyr's is called Anchored Glide. The Mystery Warframe is called Warrior's Rest. I don't remember what Nezha's is called. Controlled Slide. But if you have it and you want 15% ability strength, just use Power Drift. So, time for Varuna. We're going to go over pretty much half of her kit and her passive. So, her passive is she never fights alone. Full abilities call upon each wolf's unique passive power. And we're going to be calling upon Dinar. I don't know how to say it. So, Shroud of Dinar and Dinar's passive both give you... Well, the passive is you get more parkour velocity, and the active effect is you literally just get 200% speed. So, to show this off, Varuna running around, and now Varuna running around. Under the Shroud of Dinar. And then the passive, the best way I can illustrate this is 14 meters. And under Dinar's effect, 23. It gives you additional parkour velocity. 15. I want to see if it actually affects this. Yes. Did that. So yes, that is clearly affected. I want to see if Shroud affects it. Oh yeah. It doesn't affect bullet jumps, so it only affects the dodge. Or not, I just got lucky. But I actually still have 2 of her abilities to talk about. her 2, and her 4. Her 2 cannot be used. So, her 2 cannot be used, invalid target. You need to be targeting something, and it jumps you straight to them. It has a dedicated range. Which is massive, apparently. Did not think it was that long. Oh, yeah, 45 meters. Up from 30. So as you see, now I'm past that, it is an invalid target. But as I walk forward, it targets again. The second ability I want to touch on is her 4. Ulfern's Descent. I guarantee you I said that wrong. But base Maruna does not run on all 4s, that is a Maruna Prime exclusive. And I am happy that I have Prime. But this also jumps you straight to a target. From decent distance. Again, starts at 30, I've upped it to 45. You get 5 of these jumps. And even when you're in descent, it does not constrain your movement at all, which is really nice because some do. But that's it for passives. Now we'll touch on the basic go forward moves. Some of them have gravity, some of them don't really have gravity affecting them. I'll do the ones that have gravity affecting them first. So by name, the first is Caliban. Caliban's 1, Razor Gyre. Razor Gyre, I don't really know how to say that final word, is a pretty basic go forward move. You are flat out propelled forward without input, dash forward in the spinning vortex of death. This one seems like it doesn't scale with how far you go. So you will always go the same distance. What I mean by you having gravity is you fall to the ground. it is quite a bit faster than even your bullet jump. So if you want to incorporate it into your combo, your basic movement, go right ahead. It's the main reason I'm touching on these. Second one is Lavos. Lavos is 2, which is Viral Rush. Can be augmented with range. No, sorry. Can be augmented with duration. As you see, duration up, range down. I'll show you base. Again, directive propels you forward, which put a marking there. Makes you go 32 meters. Now if I add narrow-minded, which increases duration by 99% and decreases range by 66. And stand back here. Oh, okay, so duration is with these, sorry. It does alter with range, not duration. I got it backwards. So overextend increases range by 90 and decreases strength by 60. As you can probably see, I went quite a bit farther. And it is self-propelled forward. Oh yeah, probably should show you're affected by gravity. Last one that's affected by gravity is Revenant. Oh, did I do over all of these? Yeah, I was trying to beat a boss. Crap. Okay. Yeah, so I have it on my Prime. So, I just won't alter it. So, Reeve. Reeve is the final one that just pushes you forward. Actually, I could show you on my Araxia. I have it on my Araxia. So this is the one that is actually altered by duration. Range is just how wide it is. I also have my Gyre. Also, ignore the snakes. That's a visual glitch. And the fun thing about Reeve is you become immortal during it. Revenant actually has two abilities that make him really, really hard to kill. What am I saying? His entire kit makes him hard to kill. But Reeve is a pretty easy go forward move. And very much needs grapple. And you can cancel it early, apparently. So, the other go forward moves. Nova, don't know why Bobbin's there. Nova has Portal, or they call it Wormhole. And let me grab all of the mods off. So, Wormhole is exactly what it looks like. You go in one side and you come out where the dot is. You can have up to 3 at a time. On the fourth one creation. Oh wait, you can have up to 4 at a time, but you can only have 3. You may only have a max of 4. On the fourth one's creation, it just deletes the first one you put. And base, it goes about 50 meters. It also just disappears after 4 uses. Which is actually funny. They did it to make it so that you can't basically make death corridors. Because it was really funny. Oh, what? Huh? I want to hit terminal velocity. Okay, I've had my fun. But yes, the snakes are just a visual glitch and a leftover from Lavos. But Wormhole, directly alterable by range. It would be interested if they could be altered with duration, like how many uses they would have. But nope, just range. And they have a base of 50, which can get out of hand real quick. Yeah. Really quick. So, that is pretty obviously one that does not get affected by gravity. Forgot the H. But one that you would probably think would be affected by gravity, but isn't really affected by gravity. Rhino's charge. It starts by sending you 12 meters, and then it can send you up to 33. With all the range mods. Yep. And as you saw, the reason I say this isn't going to be affected by gravity is the other ones fell like a rock. Okay, when you're aim gliding, it doesn't really throw you down. If you're not aim gliding, you do fall like a rock. But the final one, Escal. His one actually, slash dash. Is exceptional for movement. As you see, it's barely affected by gravity until the very end. And you can even kind of angle it upwards. Well, you just can angle it upwards. Not straight upwards, you'll still always go forward. But you can angle it really nicely. And it is directly augmentable with range. Which is really nice. Because you can just kind of go. That is his 4. And as the actual purpose, it's just really fun to mess around with. And it's like, yeah, you have basically no gravity. During the first one. It's just really fun to mess around with. So, those are your basic go-forward moves. So, now on to stuff like Varuna's, which are go-to target. First up is Ash. His go-to target move is Teleport. A fairly basic move that has a range of 60. That is directly affectable by range. Yeah. This enemy is only really 67 meters away. I just have to walk to here to get to the moon. You teleport straight to the enemy. But you have to have an enemy. You can't just go wherever. Atlas. It's like Atlas, the frame that I desperately need to learn how to use. His go-forward move is Landslide. I'm gonna max him out. With 280. And Landslide is actually his Exalted. So you mod it separately. So, from what I know, that is the base of your game plan if you're playing Atlas. I genuinely don't know. I don't play him. I really need to start playing him, actually. The next one, the newest frame, Folly. Follies is forced perspective. It will let you just teleport. As long as it's not obstructed, you can just teleport. And you inflict ink blot within a radius around where you land. Base is 4 meters, it can be upped directly with range. The next one is Garuda. Garuda has 3 abilities that I'm interested in. Her Dread Mirror, her Blood Altar, and her Seeking Talons. Actually going to put a little bit of a build together. Okay, no, that works. Glorious. Okay, pretty standard build put together. Actually, it really isn't. The strength is 40. But it'll work for what I'm trying to show. So, your first one, Red Mirror. Takes you directly to a target. And Blood Altar. Again, takes you directly to a target. The one that I enjoy the most is Blood Talon. You know what you're doing. You can just fly away. Because of the little jump she does at the end. This is gonna take a while. Nice. But yeah, that can certainly get you over a couple gaps. Yeah, not really. It's if you need another like 5 meters of distance, you can grab that. Next one, Cuervo. The only frame that I have not actually farmed. His movement ability is his 1. Which is Wrathful Advance, I'll just assume. And you kinda need a melee weapon. For his and Ash's, you want a melee weapon? Because then it'll actually work. But this ability is a 2-parter. If you just hold this first, you'll just teleport. Doesn't matter if anything's there. Well, you'll teleport as far as you can go. But a bit less finicky because you just teleport as literally as far as you can go. Loki. Again, directly alterable by range. His is Switch Teleport. Again, directly alterable by range. His is probably the farthest that you can do. And you physically swap places with whoever you do it to. And disorient them. I'm not sure if you can do this with friendlies. I believe this is enemy only. But for the final one, Valkyr. I'll just use the prime because I know I have it on it. Auto picker 4. So, again, there's two parts to this. You can either just... You can either just zip to places or zip to enemies. If you zip to an enemy, all nearby enemies within range will be clumped together and all take your melee hit. I believe there is no cap on how many enemies can actually be brought in. Yeah, I don't think so. But Valkyr's Ripline is quite good. There's even an augment that makes it free if used in the air. But that brings us to the special cases. So, back to Gauss. Gauss has an ability called Mach Rush. And Mach Rush locks you into a state of going forward. Kind of. If you hold the ability, you will go in a straight line, but you do still need to aim, kind of? You kind of still need to aim. But in this state, you cannot bullet jump, and basically your only means of movement is a single jump. Even if you try to mash. You need to stop if you want to bullet jump or do anything like that. And rolls just cancel it. There are quite a few special cases like that. The second one is Gauss's best friend, Grendel. It's Grendel with Pulverize. So you can still double jump. You can still do an altered version of wall climbing, except I wouldn't recommend it. Basically where you go up to the wall and just mash. It'll get you up, but no crouching, so anything that required the crouch button is out. Wow, you make a lot of noises. The next one is Hildren. No, wait. This Hildren. HI or HY? So, Hildren's 4. Makes you fly in the air. Aegis Storm. Yeah. It makes you fly. Except it's a very restrictive flying. You're very slow, you can only go so far off the ground. You can still dodge. The crouch button is the go down button, so no bullet jumping. But yeah, again, a pretty restrictive state, I will say. Next one is Ivara. Ivara with Prowl. Prowl is a super restrictive state. It is a channeled state, which means you lose energy whenever you're in it, even if you're temporarily not in it because you're tired. Although there's one exception where your Artemis bow does not remove your invisibility. You can still dodge during it. No bullet jumping, no double jumping. Oh, sorry, yeah, double jumping is fine. No bullet jumping, no sliding, which is weird. Basically just dodging and jumping. So you can still scale things, you're just going to be slightly worse at it. Probably the quickest way to move around is just by dodge rolling. But you can melee in it completely fine. All melee maneuvers except for the sliding melee. Because again, it requires you to slide, which knocks you out of it. Next one is Jade, another flyer. So, Jade is what I would call proper flight. You basically have free reign over the skies. You can kind of dodge. You can go up pretty slowly, down pretty slowly. No crouching, so again, you can't. Basically a better form of pilgrimage, where you can just go wherever you want instead of being bound to one. But all other downsides that come with Pilgrim's Flight are also are the downsides of Jade's Flight minus being bound to the ground. Basically, no crouch. And you're pretty slow. Next one is Mesa, which might sound a little weird, but she has an augment called Waltz, which lets you move during Peacemaker. And being able to move properly is a very nice skill to have when you're so restricted in movement. Because in Peacemaker, you can see, I don't have bolts on this one. And yes, I know I have 14, I'm saving up for a number. You are bound in place. You cannot do anything except look and shoot. Which is partially why I'm right behind him. Because you are very vulnerable in this state. You are standing still. Really, your only defense mechanism is to defeat the enemies. And something else, your reticle never rewidens. It might if you stay for long enough, but I already stayed for a good amount of time and it never rewidened. But with Waltz, the very restrictive state becomes slightly less restrictive. First off, you can move! Slowly, but you can still move. And as you see, your targeting reticle gets wider. Which means you need to aim slightly less. And you can walk around. You can also dodge, which means that you can activate rolling guard. Which is nice because I have a persistence build in the works that's going to be using rolling guard that I hope is going to be really good. Okay. But no jumping, all you can do is just walk around slowly and dodge roll. Might as well do the other one like this, which is Corvettes. Corvex has a mod, has an augment that is very much like Mesa Waltz, which is Fused Crucible, which also turns his fourth into a channeled ability. And you can walk around during it. tip of what you can do. Basically, all you can do is slowly walk around and dodge. No jumping, no crouching. You can just slowly walk around and dodge. So, on to Noko. Noko, the very fun guy. Noko's ability is Reroute. Where you literally become a Spurtling. You get a triple jump. You become a Spurtling, you get a triple jump. You become untargetable. Which basically means if you walk into it, you can still get hurt. Never mind, you become literally immortal. You become unhurtable. You become unhurtable, untargetable, and it is his movement ability. You can't bullet jump, all you can do is jump and dash. No crouching. Nyx. So, her interesting bit of movement is her 4. You literally float around, you can go up, you can go down, no dodging. A very costly way to go an extra 10 feet. It's like a very costly way, but you do get pretty far. Alternatively, you can use Assimilate and turn Absorb into this, which puts you into an ultra, which puts you into again a restricted state, where you get one jump and you can dodge. I am quite acquainted with this state because Nyx is one of the few characters that I bring into Steel. Oraxia. Araxion, her 4. So, a couple immediate things about her 4. I believe it makes her faster. Which I don't think is stated anywhere. I don't know if it's just me, but she feels faster. It might be because of the different perspective. Yeah, no, it's entirely placebo. But, so, you can still do everything, crouching, sliding, jumping, double jumping, bullet jumping. That is the difference. You can no longer dodge. Your dodge has been replaced with a strand of silk that is basically Valkyr's Riftline. And the second thing is this. You can now hang on to walls for as long as you are in her 4. I also want to try something. Why? Why did you do this? DE? Why? So you know how you used to be able to just climb up a wall just by holding A at it? Not with Araxia. So a wall latch, this, is usually done by holding the aim button. But in Araxia's 4, it is instead done by jumping. It is so annoying. Because it means you can no longer do wall jumps. Which I personally use quite a bit. just really annoying to me personally. Okay, Sevagoth. I need weaker enemies. There we go. So his movement ability is actually not him, it's Shadow. As you can see, it's quite a bit slower. I know how to play Sevagoth Shadow. But his Shadow has different physics than him, so thought I might as well mention it. Stynax. So, his ability is 4. It sets you in free fall even if you have no jump. Oh, no, never mind. But normally I jump. So, hover for quite a bit. Your hover is directly augmentable by duration, because it just alters how many javelins you throw, and you throw them all at the same speed. So yeah, just kind of wanted to mention that. Okay, yeah, let's do Titania. So, Titania. The purest form of free flight there is, you are in an archway. Literally just you are in an archway. go anywhere, you copy Arcling physics. It is the purest form of flight in a regular kit. And then Uriel, a very interesting form of flight. So his one lets you fly. The duration is directly augmented by duration. And you're literally flying. And glide to get out of it. Dodge to get back into it as long as you're in the air. And yeah, you are literally flying. Something that most people know by now is that you can use alternate weapon abilities while flying. So the Bubonico has this as the massive first fire as its ult. As its ult fire. And yes, you can live out your dreams in the base monster. So another thing that can cancel is you can jump out of it. And you can dodge out of it. But the coolest part is being able to use alternative fire modes while you're flying. So the next one is Wukong. Wukong has one flight ability. It's Cloud Walker. And it is pretty just you're flying. A for up. Jump is up and forward is forward. You're just moving, you're invulnerable, untargetable. And you can just fly through missions, literally. So, you're Relly. Eureli's is Relina. We're gonna take the augment off. We're on a K-Drive. Literally, K-Drives were designed after Relina. The one thing that you can do on Relina that you cannot do on K-Drive is dodge forward. And last but not least, you have Zephyr, which I saved for last. Well, I didn't actually save him for last, but Tailwind is very interesting. So, Tailwind is a very straight go forward, does not care about gravity at all. Like, at all. But this is actually its held effect. If you hold Tailwind without holding the direction, you will hover. Okay, so you don't need the augment for it. And if you look down and use Tailwind while in the air, you will fly downward, doing a tiny bit of damage. I believe it is range-based, so directly augmentable with range, how far you go. And the final two that I want to talk about are Volt and Wisp. Basically, as honorable mentions, they don't have any abilities that alter your movement, that alter what you can do with your movement. They just have abilities that speed you up. Volts is literally called speed. And if you are not the Volt, and you get sped up, and you don't want to be sped up, like I don't, you jump and you do a backflip, and you opt yourself out of the speed. And then Wisp has her moats. haste mode, which literally just makes you go faster. Makes you move faster, makes you shoot faster, it just makes you quicker.
The strange angel is calling? Me voici.
And that's going to be it for my movement tutorial addendum. So,